And you wanted to do this from the parking lot at the movie theater.
Well, you need a real winter coat like I do. You just have this...
You're not wearing a coat at all.
Well, I was earlier.
It would have been much colder in the parking lot. We're a parking garage family now.
I would have been fine, but I keep telling you to buy a coat.
But I look so cool. Why would I trade that for warmth? This goes along with our new show now. This show, which is apparently now called Beauty and the Cabbie.
Yeah.
Or was that it?
No, it was like Cabbie and the Beauty. Or it was like reversed,
Beauty and the... Oh, yeah. Sorry. Our modern day movie review version of The Beautician and the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I am a cabbie. Well, much like the movie we saw tonight, in which we're basically just killing time before Cats comes out. Much like the movie that we saw tonight, we will be doing this all in one take. in just one shot. We perfected that skill with this show. Except for some older ones with me and Irving where we'd have to cut out a few things here and there. I think that's over on the Lost Media wiki page. Is like Irving's dirty jokes from midnight screenings or something like that. I should have saved those. Those would be worth going back and looking through sometime. But we went to go see a way early screening of 1917. I think there's been a few. Because I know some other people who already saw it. And I was talking to some people on Twitter earlier who had seen it too. This comes out
January.
Yeah, January 10th is when it comes out everywhere, and Christmas, I believe it comes out in some select cities. So yeah, we're here a couple weeks early to be watching this. Which when the movie was over, you turned to me and just went, "That was intense."
Yeah. Well, because it was like one continuous shot for one, so you're like, I'm there during this journey.
I love in a movie like this where it's fun to kind of look for where the cuts are.
Yeah, I do too. There was definitely I could tell a few times.
Well, one that was obvious, but
yeah, because I thought there was an intermission for a second, but
As much as I wish they would bring intermissions back, I knew that this was an under 2-hour movie.
It was an hour 59 minutes.
Technically under 2 hours.
Yeah, well, I guess the credits were 5 minutes or something. Yeah. But still, it was basically 2 hours long. Yeah. But I felt like there was I was like, is there an intermission here? Because it was kind of a long darkness for maybe 6 or 7 seconds.
Well, if it was back in Springfield, that would have meant the projector gave out. And then we have to drive over to Parkway Point to go see the rest of it. I just take it that's how all advanced screenings work there now. But no, I mean, I've seen a number of movies that have the gimmick like this, where it's edited together to make it look like it's all one kind of continuous shot.
Birdman.
Silent House, Running Time, Rope.
Oh yeah, something with it where it's a war movie that's
new.
Yeah, yeah, that makes it really intense.
But it is kind of fun, keeping your eye out for there might have been a cut going on there. I don't know. Usually whenever the camera will maybe kind of jerk,
or whenever they go through a door and it kind of gets dark for just a little second,
or someone kind of walks by or something like that. It is kind of fun, but the movie doing it like this in what's a World War I movie, where from the beginning of it, you've got these two guys that are given this mission to deliver this message to this squad to basically stop this
trap.
To basically stop this attack from happening, because they're about to walk into a trap. So right away from the beginning of the movie, not only do you have insanely high stakes as far as what the story is, but to be traveling along with these guys while this is going on, looking like it's one shot, so much of it in very, very, very long takes, and a lot of this movie more or less being in real time, that certainly adds to the intensity of how scary the movie is.
How dire this
and how rushed it is. Yeah, how dire. And when I say scary, I mean scary. Because there's parts in this movie that are like a freaking horror film.
Oh, yeah, it's World War I.
Yeah.
No shit. Like, I like World War I movies. I wish there were more of them. Like...
Oh, you only came to this because I told you it was a spin-off of Wonder Woman.
Oh, no. I think
Where is she?
World War I is so, like... I don't know, like, it was the first time where it was, like, shrapnel was, like, not really, I mean, okay, you know what, I'm not gonna start saying history stuff, because I don't
Just in case.
Just in case.
There'll be 1,000 people going, nuh-uh.
Well, I thought, like, shrapnel was, like, kind of that was where, like, plastic surgery kind of really came in.
Was it World War I?
Yeah, because so many people were getting hit by shrapnel, so, like, so that's why plastic surgery was so, like...
Sure.
Yeah, but... You know, I don't know what I'm talking about. But
you can know way more about this topic than I do.
But World War I find very interesting. I don't know that much about it.
Well, to have it be used.
I mean, I do know some of it, but it's like I wish I would know more about it. Like it was more more movies.
Sure, and we're getting
World
more
War
between this. The Peter Jackson documentary, that they shall not grow old, that documentary, a few other things that have been out. We are getting a lot more World War I material now. Plus, that being used for a movie like this, too, which is one of the most innovative war movies I've seen since, like, Saving Private Ryan. One of the best I've seen since Saving Private Ryan. Like,
it's like a mixture of horror because it is it's fucking war. So I mean, yeah.
But I mean, even how the way that this movie is shot, like, because most war movies, when done right, like, of course, Full Metal Jacket, Platoon, Saving Private Ryan, all those, are horrific and have horrific imagery in them. This basically taking the audience with it through this one shot, through this camera angle that they got going on. You are throughout a lot of it going into like no man's land, these trenches, these caverns and things like that, not knowing what's going to be over this hill, not knowing what's going to be in this tunnel.
You're basically a third party, like you're basically a person that's going along with them.
You're there along with these characters. You know as much about what's going to happen over that hill as they do. So when they go over that and they're walking through these fields, we, along with them, are looking at this horrific imagery around them, whether it's bodies that have been out there forever and are charred and skeletal, and horses and like dead horses, dead animals, the camera just going through swarms of flies over these horses, and even going into like those caverns at one point in which they're out
in the trenches
where they're outrunning this collapse inside of it and discovering tripwires. It's amazing stuff to look at in this movie.
Feels like you're like in a found footage movie sometimes.
Kinda like when he's in the house at one point, and we, along with him, don't know what's going on outside, and when he steps out there, I mean, the cinematography in this is stunning. It is absolutely stunning. And when he walks out there and is witness to just hellfire going on outside, it's horrific. And he'll see like a silhouette off in the distance. We, along with him, don't know who the hell that person is, what side they're on. It's terrifying. Yeah. The movie is absolutely terrifying. It's one of the scariest movies of the year.
It totally is. God, I don't think I would ever survive back then. Honey, I don't think you would either. You?
Me? I would be the comic relief.
No, you would die
no, much like a lot of comic reliefs in these movies, I would still die. I would just make it through 75% of the story. Then when the funny guy gets killed off, suddenly the audience is there going like, oh shit, no one's safe, the funny guy died. That would be me. I'm the comic relief. Like, same with a slasher movie. I would be Shelley from Friday the 13th Part 3. I'm there to provide laughter for 75% of it, but at the end of the day, you still need the final girl to go up against Jason Voorhees, so I'm probably gonna die, but leaving you with a lot of laughs.
There are parts like I'm like before they get to the barbed wire, which is like the barrier between like the fence between their side and I guess the German side, right?
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Like No Man's Land or whatever. Yeah. It's like, you just see bodies on, like, the barbed wire, like this, and it's just like, and they'll just, like, glance and be like, okay.
In the water when he's crawling across these bloated corpses sitting
with their tongues sticking out.
Yeah, just faces bloated and everything. I love the part with the barbed wire because that's kind of a pain that you can kind of identify with a little bit. Like, meaning, what I mean by that is, like, before he puts his hand on the barbed wire, we've seen...
Oh, where he gets his hand?
Yeah. We've seen, like, these bodies, these horses, all this stuff. We've seen some pretty horrific violence until then. But when he puts his hand on that wire and cuts it, and it gets caught on there, I was sitting there going, ooh. God, like, that was the one where, like, made me wince a little bit.
And that's really, like, early in the movie. Yeah. And he sticks his hand in dead bodies, in mud, in dirty water, in water with dead bodies floating. I'm like... His hand has to be infected at this point.
There are shots and images in this movie that I've just not seen in a war movie. Like, you get this ground eye view of this dogfighting happening in the sky, where you've seen dogfighting in movies before, certainly.
The planes?
But the planes,
I never heard of it called that one.
Oh, okay. Like, the planes, like, I mean, certainly, like, that's been in movies before, but the way it's shot from their perspective, being on the ground, just seeing it in the sky with these kind of light popping in the background from the gunfire, like, it made it real. It made it very... It made it feel like you were there and not just simply watching a war film.
Yeah.
Like, you know, something like, as impressive as something like Hell's Angels is. Like, it was neat seeing that from these guys' point of view, and also where it leads after that, which you've seen in the trailer where the plane comes down. The filmmaking techniques that go into this movie, between the shots they did, all of this one-take stuff, and with footage like the plane coming down, him running, you see this in the trailer too, or him running along the side of the trenches while shit's just blowing up all around them. It's inspiring. Like, if you're out there wanting to be a cinematographer, a filmmaker, like, this is inspiring stuff to look at.
This is a movie where I'm like, okay, this has to be up there with the best cinematographer, like cinematography for the Oscar. Like,
yeah, that'll be ridiculous if that's not.
No, yeah, this should definitely be up there for that, because this was impressive.
Like, this is, like, it's... You sit there and you marvel at the filmmaking of it, the cinematography, and also just wondering how all of this was done, how they pulled it off, and how they pulled it off so perfectly between the action set pieces, these horrific moments where they're going in these tunnels, and the acting. The actors in this movie are perfect, and you have
organic.
Names in this movie who pop up for small scenes. Like Colin Firth is in this, Mark Strong.
Colin Firth was in this? When?
Yeah, he was the one at the beginning who gave him the mission.
That was Colin Firth?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mark Strong is in this. Benedict Cumberbatch. Andrew Scott is in this. What's his name? Who played Robb Stark. He pops up in this, but a majority of the time you're spending with these two guys who are given this mission, and these guys carry it. They easily do, with this banter they have back and forth, the frustrations they have back and forth, joking with one another. You get a sense of these guys' personalities, what they're like before this, and just these little conversations that they have.
Yeah.
It's written perfectly in that regard, where you do get a feel of these characters in this very dire story that's taking place in a relatively short period of time.
Yeah, one seems a little more calculating, and then the other one kind of seems a little more like not emotional, but a little bit more like, no, we have to help this person. No, we have to do this.
It has more empathy I
want to say, like, the other one lacks empathy. It's just like he's a little more like,
the other one's not closed off.
We need to think before we do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so there are, like, things like that. And, I mean, there's a death scene in this where I'm like, damn, like,
There, like, it can show you, like, how, because, yeah, there's a lot of death in this movie, and there's one in particular, there's one in particular that really shows just how quick and out of the blue something can go south. Like, in this situation that these characters are in, to where it can just be something instantaneous like that'll happen, like, based on just a decision that maybe seems like nothing in that moment.
Yeah.
And it's gut-wrenching to see. There's a lot of moments in this movie that are genuinely sad and heartbreaking, and the actors really pull it off. Yeah. Like, it's a beautiful film. It's one of the best movies of the year.
The no man's land part in particular for me was like haunting. Like, I was like, oh god, this is seriously like hell. If I ended up in hell, which I might, this is what hell would be. It's just a bunch of mud, dirt, barbed wire on each end, and I can't escape and there's dead bodies everywhere and crows feasting off people. It's like, that would be fucking hell.
I love seeing, and I love too that it's so cloudy in this movie. Like, the sky's just dead gray, and like, so you see just how grim the sky looks throughout this whole thing, versus other little touches they do too. I love that, like, in the background we're seeing the sunrise at one point, and even when there's a death in the movie and you see the progression through this scene, how much more pale the character is getting.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was gonna mention that. I don't know how they did that. It must have been maybe
probably like the attention to detail like that.
Yeah, like
was great.
He was losing a bunch of blood, and you could see right away, like his not right away, but gradually his skin was getting pale, like he was losing blood, and that was disturbing.
This should go up there with like a list of some of the best and most inspiring war movies I've seen. Just like inspiring is on a filmmaking aspect alone, and visual storytelling.
This is up there with like Saving Private Ryan for me.
Right? Yeah. This is. I need to send my dad a message to make sure he goes to see this. My dad will love this movie.
My mom would hate it.
Would she?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
She doesn't like that kind of stuff.
I didn't know if she watched war movies at all.
She doesn't like anything that's kind of depressing.
So she'll love this film.
My dad used to be like, let's watch this, and it's like this really depressing movie, and she's like, I don't want to watch No Country for Old Men.
I guess there's more depressing movies he could have picked, like.
Oh, he did. Oh, like Schindler's List. He would show
Schindler's List.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to. I want to watch Sound of Music. She likes uplifting things. She doesn't want to know how dark the world could be. He tricks
her by going, no, we're watching Life is Beautiful today. It's a romantic comedy for the first half. She doesn't want to see how dark the world could be. Yeah. She wants to live in a world where it's... She wants to be in 2017, not 1917, god damn it.
Oh, 2017 is not as bad, I guess. But there's the ups and downs.
Oh, sure.
I guess I'd rather be in 2017 than 1917 for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably get kind of bored in 1917.
Well, you wouldn't know any better.
I would I would. I'd just be sitting there waiting for Nintendo to be invented.
You'd be playing the fiddle.
The fiddle, yeah.
Dance, honey, dance.
Yeah, I would just be an extra from Heaven's Gate. All right. Well, when this comes out, check it out. Yeah. Keep an eye out if there's any more advanced screenings for this going on, because I know there's been at least one before this, I believe. But this will be out everywhere in January and Christmas in select cities. So definitely go out there and see this. We have got our review for Star Wars coming up tomorrow, and we got Cats and Bombshell. Check out the latest Cinema Snob episode as well on Karate Christmas Miracle. I put that up the other day. That was a really fun episode to do, so check that out. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.